Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Fiacre of Breuil. Saint Fiacre was an Irish priest who built his monastery, and is also famously known as the patron saint of gardeners and herbalists. He was born around the end of the 6th century in Ireland, when monasticism was blooming. Although very little was known about his early life, it was said that he was raised in a monastery under the care of monks, and it was in this part of his life where he learned about prayer, fasting, and love for nature. He also loved reading the scriptures, and as he grew older he became a priest, and it was here that he became known for his wisdom and healing abilities. People came to him to seek advice, and also for cures and comfort. However, he longed for a more secluded life, and later he left Ireland and traveled across the sea to France, where he found his way in Meaux, which was near Paris. There he was warmly received by the local bishop named Pharaoh, and upon seeing his spiritual gifts, Bishop Pharaoh gave him a piece of wild forest land in Breuil. There he built a simple hermitage and a small chapel in honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary. He also cultivated a garden full of healing herbs, vegetables, and flowers, which he used to treat the sick for free. Later his spirituality grew deeper, and it was here that miracles began to occur. One of the most famous miracle stories of him happened when Bishop Pharaoh granted him an expansion of his garden so he could plant more herbs. But the bishop only allowed him as much land as he could cultivate in one full day. Realizing that his ability to expand was limited, he turned to God in prayer. Then, using his staff, he struck the ground, loosening the soil and even bringing down trees in his path. With every single sweep, weeds were uprooted and the earth became ready for planting. This miracle was witnessed by some of the monks and nearby farmers, and they were astonished at what they saw. Later, when this story spread all over the town, a local woman went to Bishop Pharaoh and accused him of sorcery, and got upset of how a man could wield such power. But his holiness and innocence was affirmed, and from that point on he devoted himself more to prayer, gardening, and healing. Many people came to him seeking his herbal remedies, and their illnesses were cured through his care. As years passed, his body grew weaker, but he never stopped welcoming people who came to him for his cure. On August 18, 670, he happily passed away at the age of 70 years old, and he was buried in the chapel of his hermitage site. Soon after, the site of his burial became a site of miracles where many healings were reported. Later, his remains were moved to St. Stephen's Cathedral in France, where people come to offer prayers and intentions, and the site where he originally cultivated his garden was later called Saint Fiacre to honor his name, and it is a small communal town which still regards its tradition in gardening and herb planting. Today, he is venerated as the patron saint of gardeners and herbalists, and his feast day is celebrated every 1st of September. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.